I'm Natalie Moore. I am the director of Natalies Second Chance No-Kill Dog Shelter. I've been doing this for about 8 years. Um, we became Natalie's Second Chance 6 years ago. I like dogs. I kind of fell in love with dogs as a child. I had a pretty horrific childhood. Um, Everybody has a story they can tell from their childhood, so I'm not unique in any way. But during my childhood, my dog Bear, he was a big like chow mix something or other. He went everywhere with me. He just loved me unconditionally, and I don't know. He was the first one to ever show me what unconditional love really is, and I struggle with that a lot with people. But he really taught me that, so I'm not surprised that this is what I'm doing, that I'm actually working with dogs. I knew I had hit the bottom. I lived in a homeless shelter in Louisville, Kentucky. I had a dog, so we were homeless, and I moved here, and I just thought, okay, this is gonna be, I'm gonna get my life back together. I'm gonna be okay. Well, being the great alcoholic I am, no, just changing from where you live isn't gonna stop what's going on in my brain. So I had stopped doing the drugs, but I couldn't get away from the drinking. I got arrested for the first time in my life. I got arrested here in Lafayette, and they gave me community service. So I didn't know what that meant. I had never been to jail before. I felt like, oh my God, just scum on somebody's shoe. And I just didn't know what community service meant. So I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to help dogs. That's what I'm going to do. So I talked to this lady and told her what was going on, and that, can I do my community service here? You don't have to pay me. And she wanted help, like bad. So I jumped on board and did all my community hours. I had like 100 and something hours. Well, I loved what I was doing, and she had befriended me and taught me a lot of things. So I had lost my job and being a social worker. So I thought, well, if she doesn't want to do the job anymore, then how about I do it? But yeah, it all came down to a DUI is why we got this place. My first year of sobriety was the first year I opened this place. So that was kind of nerve-wracking, maybe not the best choice in the world, but it kept me sober. I would come up here in the middle of the night and just hang out with the dogs, if I wanted to, because the liquor store is right there. So I'd always come up after midnight. So that was kind of cool. I had this place to help me stay sober. So what has happened is now it's kind of a full circle, because now I deal with people that are in work release, court services, community hours, people that come here in work release or whatever. I mean, they see I'm just as human as they are. I struggle just like they do. So I try not to, I don't ever feel like I'm better than. So that's why I think this place is bigger than the dogs. I've kind of been on both sides of everything. So I have empathy for those that are the underdogs. And so who am I to judge anyone? And then with the dogs, to be honest, and most people that know me, I always take the worst of the worst. Like if you have a dog that's missing an eye and a half tail and has 3 legs, I'm all about it. I take the older dogs, I take the pit bulls, because they need help too, so, and what the dogs have taught me is to just accept people right where they're at. People can change. Dogs come in here scared out their mind, and they want to bite me or bite the volunteers. They don't want to come out of their cage. Well, a lot of shelters would just take that as they're aggressive and kill them. And I don't. We take our time, man. We've taken months, and they'll come around eventually. So, they've taught me a lot. They really have. So, but yeah, that also goes to people. How I view people. People can change too. God, through the years, I've had hundreds of people come through, whether it be just because of court services or work release. Schools have come through, churches have come through. So I don't know like how we've touched them in that aspect, but I do know some people's stories they've shared with me. One in particular, she loved coming up here. She loved working with dogs, and she stayed sober the entire time because she had somewhere to come here. I just think that dogs do something for people.